What is going on, guys? This is BigDawgBreaks, and today we are going to give you a quick run through of an up-and-coming platform that you may or may not have heard of, which is called Veriswap. Now, Veriswap is an online website that is designed to give you the experience of being able to trade your sports cards, your non-sports cards, TCG, anything of the like, online, over the web, with anyone in the world, and then have them sent to your house, safe and sound, have them right in your hands. This is taking the experience of going to a trade night, going to your LCS, going to a card show or convention, taking that in-person experience, and again, just bringing it right online so that you can do it anytime, any place, anywhere. It is a very cool concept. It's pretty new here. It's only been out for about a year from what I can find, but I like the idea behind it. So today what we'll do is we'll talk about the benefits of it, why it's cool, why it's good, why you should look into it, some of the negatives, maybe some of the issues with it or future problems that they might have. And then at the end of it, hopefully you can make a decision for yourself as to whether or not this is going to be something that you think you should try out. So with that being said, we'll jump right in. Want to keep it pretty quick here. First things first is how many people are on Veriswap? Well, if you look at Android and the downloads on there, because it is an app, you'll see there are about 10,000 app downloads on Android. Apple does not reveal how many downloads they have, but we can assume that that's probably in the same 10 to 15, 20,000 range. And then you have people that maybe just sign up on the desktop and don't use the app. So overall, let's just estimate there's maybe 30,000 people on the app. Some of those sign up once and never use it again, but that's any website. How is the website being promoted right now? From what I've seen, I've only seen it really promoted by one person, and that is by Jeff Wilson, who runs Cards HQ, the sports card investor. He is promoting this every trade night he has in store at his Cards HQ night, which he streams live, and he'll show you how he gets on Veriswap and does some trades on there. I'm sure he's getting paid pretty well by them to do that. This is Jeff Wilson's page. He's got 64 cards listed on here. What you do is you get on here, you list your cards. Most people are going to have graded cards on here, but you can also put raw. After the trade is complete, you'll send those cards to Veriswap, and then Veriswap will confirm these are the cards that were supposed to be in this deal, and then they'll send them off to the person that's supposed to receive them. Veriswap is not authenticating here, so it is very possible that fake cards are getting sent through. They are at least confirming that it is the card that was pictured that is supposed to be getting sent to the other person. So Jeff Wilson's got 64 cards on here. He's got 15 completed trades. He's got a pretty good range on here of $30,000 cards all the way down to $30 cards. And this is where you're going to see the benefit of something like this where, let's say there's a PC card out there you really want. Maybe it's a $3,500 card. You don't want to fork out the money for that on eBay, but you do have a closet full of cards that has some good value on them that someone else might want. So you upload those cards that you no longer want. You find the card that you do in fact want on Veriswap, and then you try and get that person interested in what you have and see if you can make a deal out of it. One man's trash is another man's treasure, and get that to somebody else that's willing to trade it with you. So I think that's a really cool aspect behind it and a chance for you to trade up and get something that you maybe always wanted. Doesn't always work out that way on here, but that's the idea behind it. Now, one thing I want to call out right off the bat is Jeff Wilson has 15 completed trades. I sent him a trade on here about 2 weeks ago, and he had 15 completed trades at that time. I'm pretty sure that he is not actually checking this website at all besides the nights where he's promoting it at his Cards HQ night, which is kind of a bummer. It's the same as if you watch a commercial and you have a celebrity promoting a medicine or an item, and they've never actually used it. They only use it for that commercial purpose. So it's a little disappointing to me. I would expect him to be on here a little bit more often, or at least have somebody from the shop trading on his behalf. So that's a bad look in my opinion. But anyways, what you do is you go down. Let's just say we find a couple cards we're interested in. It's going to tell us, first of all, what is Jeff interested in? What does he want to trade for? What are his preferences? You can put here vintage cards, kabooms, downtowns, Disney, whatever it might be. And then when you find a card you want, you click on Propose Trade. Maybe you find a couple more you want on here. You add those cards, and then you have the option here of either clicking Express Interest. If you click that, it's just going to let Jeff know, hey, I like these cards. take a look at my inventory and tell me if you see anything on my side that you like that you might want to trade for. Or you can actually go in here and you can select cards and say, all right, I want to select a whole bunch of cards on here that I think he might like, and I'm going to add those cards and add a note here at the bottom, let me know, and then I'm going to propose that trade. Now, I don't think he's going to go for 85,000 to a estimated 1,600 value, but that is how you propose a trade on here. Let's go back to the main page, and let's talk about some of the things. We've talked about where the benefits are, trading up, getting a PC card, trading with anyone in the world, finding things that maybe you don't want to pay for, but you have your own cards that you want to trade with somebody else. Where are the negatives here? Because there's negatives with any website. Where that comes in is when we go and we click into one of these cards. And let's see, this is a George Lombard Jr. Now, first of all, I think it does a really poor job here of automating the comps. Some cards will have comps that pop up on here, and all it's doing is pulling from eBay. But more often than not, you got to go on, you got to click the check comps on eBay button, and you got to look for yourself to see, is this an actual close price or are they way off? The issue with this site is that everybody is way overestimating the value of their cards because they want to make it seem like they have the biggest thing ever. I came across a guy the other day that had a Messi card, gold refractor numbered 50. It consistently sold for $100 to $125 online. And this kid was putting like a $500 or $600 value on it and didn't want to budge when it came time to trade. And it's like, all right, well, what's the point of trading on here if everyone's just going to make up numbers? And, I guess everyone can do that and no one will ever be happy with what they're trading for. The other problem is when you put that valuation way high, Veriswap makes their money off charging 2% of whatever the value is of that deal. So if you're putting a $2,000 card value on a card that's normally $200, all you're doing is costing yourself more money because that's what they're basing their fees off of. On the flip side, you'll see some people on here that are purposely lowering the cost of their cards from $1,000 down to $100 in order to get a really cheap deal done on the fee side. Veriswap does notify you that if you're doing that and they catch you, they'll ban you, but I personally think they're way too new right now to be able to enforce that and really hold people to it. So I think that's the first issue I have, is that it's not populating. They need to partner up with market movers or something and have these numbers automatically populate for 80-90% of the cards on here, not just 10%. I'll show you on my side. If I go to my inventory, I know for a fact that this Jackie Robinson here will show me the comps, and it'll say, well, that's interesting. The other day it said 375 and now it says 272. So either a lot changed in one day or it's just not pulling the right numbers. But anyway, that to be said, that is an example of how it shows right there. But here's the next thing I don't like, is that everybody on here, since we'll have to go back to another profile. Let's see, let's click back on George Lombard. Everybody on here is just giving a random trader number. And this makes it impossible to know who you've already dealt with. Is this someone you've talked to before? Is there a history in your trades that you've done with them? And you can't keep track of anything. If I submitted a request for this trade of George Lombard 3 weeks ago, and then I came back this week and thought it was a new one and tried to submit another trade, there's no way for me to easily note that that was the same guy that I submitted a trade to before. I really don't like this. I think they need to update this and make it more personalized. I think maybe one of the reasons they don't do that is they don't want you taking these trades off site. But in reality, I think almost every card on here is also listed on eBay. It's not hard to find that person and then go message them on eBay to get something done. I think Veriswap's shooting themselves in the foot right now by making it really hard to tell who you've dealt with, and also not being easy to access message history. When I click send message, I would hope that this would pull up the message history. Instead, it just pulls up a little box that I can message them right there. Again, not making it easy to know if I've talked to them in the past. So those are that's another issue off the top. And then as far as bugs on the platform, I will say I emailed them last night. I kept experiencing the same bugs over and over again that weren't letting me submit a trade or express interest. Really was getting frustrated with it because it happened over and over again on the desktop version, and I was experiencing some issues on the app as well. They did fix it for me within 24 hours, and they asked me, hey, if you see anything else that pops up, please let us know so we can continue to make this a good experience for anyone. So, I mean, they're growing, they're new, they are going to have issues, but that is something that I was getting frustrated with. Now, a couple last things I want to point out here is that you can go on here, you can create a post, you can put your cards here that you are promoting and you know what you're looking for. The thing I've noticed is that because there's not a lot of people using this app, I end up seeing the same cards on here day after day. And you know, it's almost to the point of think of when a dating app first comes out and not a lot of people are on it, you just keep seeing the same people on there over and over again. And you're like, I already said I'm not interested. And then they just keep popping up. Well, that's what this is. And after being on here for 2 weeks, I feel like I've seen basically everything they have to offer. I almost need to take a couple months off and then come back and see what new stuff has been uploaded. And when you look at my trades up here, okay, I do have a trading partner waiting for my response. Let's see what this is. So they've asked for a couple of my Mickeys and an Abe Lincoln card in exchange. They are presenting a Justin Herbert, Phillip Rivers, dual auto numbered to 5, I think that says. 5, yeah. Honestly, not a terrible offer. I mean, the values are pretty similar. I think these Mickeys hold a little bit more value, so I'll probably hold on to them and not do that. But that's not one of the worst trades I've seen. But here's another issue I have is that if you look at the weighting on here, I've sent out several trades, and some of these were as far back as 225. And just people, it seems like a lot of people aren't active. Here's that Jeff Wilson trade I submitted. I wanted his Vlad Guerrero that he has valued at 110. He's asking for DJ Lagway. I threw in Felipe Franks because he was just a Florida quarterback. No response on it, and it's been, again, about 2 weeks almost. And so it seems like a lot of people aren't active on here. You send the trades, they just sit there. I wish they would actually expire and delete after 24 or 48 hours, but they still sit on there. And then here's an idea of all of the trades I've submitted, or the people have submitted to me. Look at, I'm actively every night trying to make a trade on here, and I'm, for the most part, putting some pretty fair offers out there. And I mean, this guy offered me like 8 cards for my Bedard, and they were, all pretty bad cards. So, but it's just, it kind of is getting disheartening at this point because I'm putting all of these trades out, and I'm just getting what seems to be a lot of people that are pretty stingy, and they're just not willing to make anything happen. And so, am I being a little hard on it? Yeah, I think I am. I do like this platform. I do have fun getting on here at night and shooting some offers out, even though almost all of them come back as either ridiculous counter or just nothing really of value. But I think it's going to take a little bit more time before this website really pops off. Would I suggest that you join it? Yeah, I would. I would say the more people that join it, only the better it's going to get. And the more cards that are added on here, as long as people are continuing to be active, it'll turn into a big brand eventually, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. But until people stop overvaluing their cards, until Veriswap does a better job of accurately listing comps for them to where you don't have to go in and do it. Again, hook up with market movers. I mean, you guys are already partnered with Cards HQ, so why not get market movers in there to have them integrated into it? And maybe that takes a little bit too much on the open API side, but I think it would be a cool aspect to it. And really get this website going and try and get to 100,000 users by the end of the year. And I think that would be a great boost for it. So it'd be also really cool to trade with people over in New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and have them trading some of their cards for American cards. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So anyways, at the end of the day, cool website. It's got some bugs. It needs some work. It needs more users on there. I would get on there for yourself, check it out. Upload some cards, do it for a week, and then take some time off until some new cards populate, and then come back and try it all over again. If you got any questions on it, if you want to go back and forth on some feedback on the website, hit me in the comments below. And look forward to catching you guys next time and on the next review.